All right, my name's Nate, and I just finished my second video for my clinical practice. We focused on standards 1, 2, and 3. It's kind of a funny timing. We're starting review for the midterm next week, and the students had been working on a project for most of this earlier this week. Today is Friday, and I had an extra class and put together kind of like a think like a scientist topic. So it wasn't like an actual subject directly from the book. So not very subject heavy compared to some of my other classes, but still tried to make it engaging because the kids have a 3-day weekend coming up, and I could tell just kind of antsy. So I didn't want to talk a whole lot of heavy science stuff with them the day before their vacation. But I think it went pretty well. For my second video, Sean sat down, same as the baseline video, and kind of took some notes on what I could be doing better. I haven't looked at the notes yet, so I'll let you debrief me.
So with this one, what I want to start off with is just talking about the class, and then it might not go in order of the standards, but you'll see how it fits into the standards. So one of the big things that I really want you to focus on is producing specific norms in the classroom. Like at the start of the class, everyone stand up, greet, and sit down, make sure there's dead silence while you go through your roll call. The main reason why we want to achieve this is to break the mindset of what the kids are in from the previous environment so that you can start creating your own environment in the classroom. Your class is very engaging, very interactive. The kids are really, really excited when they get into it, so they're coming in with a really high energy. And the problem is, if you don't kind of get it to settle down and to get to a proper base starting point, that energy carries through the class and you struggle to get the focus.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you start off with that focus, you get them silent, get the roll call, get into the topic, you can pick up that energy that they have very, very quickly and actually use it in the right direction. The other part with regards to those norms, you've started with the whole 3, 2, 1 countdown. Make sure that the students actually do what you want them to do by the end of 1. So once you get to 1, make sure there's dead silence. Don't ignore the students that are ignoring the 3, 2, 1 countdown, because it becomes the norm that, I hear the numbers being counted, I don't need to actually interact with it at all. So be careful that you don't just do 3, 2, 1 and start speaking before everyone's actually settled down. This is where last week, I think it was, we went and watched one of the other teachers, Denisha's classes, where she makes use of specific sound cues, and she does this whole hand signal.
Silent
coyote. Okay, and it's the kids know exactly what to expect when they hear those sounds or they see certain things. And you saw with the reaction, even though the class was absolutely crazy, the moment she did that, there was dead silence. So that is a norm that she has created, and this is something that I want you to find something that fits your style, that has that norm in it to get the reactions that you're looking for. So I think as a starting point, do you have any comments on that or anything that you agree or disagree on?
Yeah, I think the point about waiting for, I've tried doing the 3, 2, 1, and sometimes I by the time I hit 1, everyone's more or less silent, and I've kind of like widened the gap where, okay, maybe it's not 0% dead silence, but it's like 20-30%. And still that 20-30%, as they start to notice it, and then it creeps up to like 40-50%. So then by the time I hit 1, the second or third time that I've done it in the class, they have kind of checked out or totally forgotten what 3, 2, 1 is supposed to be. So just maintaining that level and not letting it, move. I think is a good point.
Consistency is key. Making sure you do this over and over, you're consistent with it, and then the kids become aware of these cues and that. After that, you moved on to your group activity. This is really nice because the students have the opportunity to communicate with each other, help each other to understand if they don't understand, or to communicate in a way that everyone can understand. So this really works very well with regards to trying to reach students' ability to understand content, or differentiation, if you want to refer to it in that way. So even if there are students that are at much higher level with students that are much lower level, they can communicate and help each other understand. So although, yes, it was just a fun game today, I think it's a really important lesson. It's one of the 2 lessons that I always add in as well, because it's very good to do something like this before exams. The other one I like to do also is how to read a question and answer a question. So although they're not specifically a science class, and it could be used in any and every class. It's a very, very important skill that students need to actually master.
Absolutely, yeah.
Especially going into exams, this is when we want to remind them. Just remember, read your instructions, do what you're told in the question. So I think group activities in this situation is brilliant because it becomes more of a fun, engaging interaction and allows students to differentiate their understanding of the question. Yeah. The nice thing about your involvement in this, often what teachers may do is just sit down at that point. You were continuously moving around the class, getting involved with each of the groups, with both of the activities that you did, helping you get engaged with the students, see where they're understanding things and where they're struggling to understand things. As teachers, it's our job to know our students, to be able to differentiate instructions according to their understanding, because then we can really help the kids. So I think it's really important what you did where you're moving from group to group. I don't know how much of the camera is able to catch, because from that angle, it probably doesn't catch the back half where you were busy moving around as well. But from my perspective, sitting at the back of the class, I could see how you're moving around, spending time with every single group, which is a very, very important thing. And I'm sure you learned a lot while doing that.
Yeah, I learned, you can kind of tell, I know they worked in their project groups, so they got to choose who they worked with in their project, so they're already friends with those people. And in the case of the group, they were in the video, you'll see they played the game or the activity I assigned to them 2 or 3 times. They were really into it. Other groups, which do tend to be the quieter kids, you kind of go over to them, hey, how's it going? Oh, we haven't started yet.
Yeah.
Like they either, and it's a tricky thing that I'm trying to figure out with them, those quiet students. Is it that they're just not as outgoing and wanting to work in a group setting, or did they not understand my instruction? So taking that time to walk around, talk to each group individually and figure out which one of those it is. It could be something else, but I've noticed that it's one of those two things. And then what can I say to that individual group to get them engaged in what we're doing?
Yeah, and it's keeping them on task as you're going around, which is really important, because often with socializing in the classroom, they go off task really, really quick. So it's important to be able to go around, check, okay guys, are you on task? Where are you? Yes, you're this far, or you're not on task at all. Then you can help them get going with what they need to do.
Right.
Also, what was really nice at the end of the activity, I don't know when you edit the video if you're going to have this part in, but you spoke to kids about feeling comfortable asking questions, no matter how stupid the question is or how difficult it was. And I think Angelina was the one that answered saying, well, she's often very nervous to ask questions because of how she feels. Maybe she feels like it seems like a silly question or whatever the case is. So it's very nice that you start creating this expectation of you can ask anything. And it helps having a kid like Suran, who sits, for you watching this, Suran is an Indian or Pakistani student, and he will ask and do anything that the teacher. So it breaks the whole concerns of asking questions in the classroom, which is really good. Then going back towards the norms, I want us really to focus once again, as you start the class, end the class on the same note of everyone stand up, everyone say goodbye, pick up your books, push your chairs under the table. That type of norm you need to get into a habit of. It's something that you work on, and then the whole class will react accordingly, and you'll have a nice closure to the class.
Yeah, I do. That stuff is always, today I'll probably keep it in the video, but every Friday the students do eye exercises after class, and it's like the class is a whole whirlwind, a 40-minute whirlwind, and then I just sometimes just out of my brain, especially that. So definitely something to be cognitive of going into the class. Everything's fresh in my head. That should just be the first checkbox that I do. Stand up, have some sort of greeting, get everyone settled, disconnected from what they were just doing. But then remembering like, okay, that was a good class. Don't just like, yeah, see you guys, bye-bye, having a closing.
It also prevents students just standing up when the bell rings, because they know they cannot leave until they do the stand up, goodbye, and sit down.
Yeah.
So generally, I think these topics that we've spoken about focus a lot on the 3 standards that are in this particular video. I think you did a really nice job. It's something outside of your core curriculum. However, it's very, very essential that the kids pay attention to this type of thing,
Yeah.
especially just before exams. Yeah, I think that is about it that I would like to talk about in this class.
Cool. Thank you,
Okay.
Shane. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye-bye.